That's right. It's time for Zeiss's Cyberpunk 2077 weekly update.
So yeah, I mean, we've talked. I'm basically disclaimer. I'm not going to keep talking about bugs and stuff. Like we're kind of over that. We all know the game condition that it's in. We've talked about it. It's not. It is what it is. The plus side of that is there is still a lot of content in this game that is good. But before I get into that, here's an update on the lawsuit. So the lawsuit had been placed, we said last week, with a base firm called Rosen Law Firm out of New York for basically, saying that they didn't fulfill their needs of what the game, they presented to the people. And basically a statement came out from CD Projekt Red, and they said that, they're willing to basically fight any of these accusations because they obviously don't believe, which is fair. I mean, they're going to say that. I mean, this is their company. They're going to be like, yeah, you're right. We're totally right. So one of the things that they mentioned, though, is that this is what they said is the complaint does not specify the quantity of damages sought. So in the actual lawsuit presented, they don't actually say what they're coming after them for, like how much money they're looking at. And because of that, they said they mentioned that they're undertake vigorous actions to defend itself against any such claims. So that's for the misleading investors and, obviously causing them to incur damages. So
that's really interesting too, because, for you to bring, for you to get a court case on something, you have to be able to show what the damages are. And how much the damages are. And that, of course, would lead to, like how much you're, seeking to get out of it. So if they haven't said how much they're seeking to get out of it, boy, you've got to show that you were harmed.
Yeah.
So,
and this may get blown out pretty easily. I mean, it may be like, well, they can't even present that. So
yeah, good.
Be gone. I mean, like I said, as we said before, this law firm hasn't really done a whole lot in the past. They've had 6 different cases, nothing really that anybody even knows about. So, I mean, this may just be like, hey, we did it first, we're going to sue them, and then, not really do anything just to get notoriety. So, but going back to the good stuff, right? So Cyberpunk, like I said, yes, it has bugs. Yes, we've talked about it. Yes, you should wait. But if you're interested and you already have it, I mean, there is a lot of good stuff out there. So if you're like me and you're on Reddit and you followed the Cyberpunk 2020 Reddit, or if you followed the Cyberpunk 2077 Reddit, I also follow the Cyberpunk 2020 Reddit. But also the other ones that are out there in PC gaming, there's just all these memes and how things are terrible and people are just vomiting their words and just talking about how bad everything is. And then you have a lot of other people going like, I'm playing it just fine on PC, and they're like, oh, well, you're on a $2,000 PC. It's like, well, that's what it was meant to be played on. So you have all of this war going back and forth. But I actually found a subreddit from looking at, comments and things. It's called Low Sodium Cyberpunk. And so altogether, Low Sodium Cyberpunk. And it's a subreddit that's based on Cyberpunk 2077. But only showing the good stuff. Like, hey, check out this cool thing I did. And like they show like a clip of like the game, like you did notice something really neat, or discovered things that you haven't really probably realized yet. There was one that I saw that like they had discovered that what's her name, the main girl, Judy. Sorry, Judy has a tattoo.
Judy.
She has a tattoo of like a mind flare, like from D&D, and how fitting, because she's all about brain dancing and like doing the brain stuff. So it's like a mind flare, same kind of similar. So little things like that is like really neat for like the detail that they're putting into this game. And actually, one of the things we noticed, or we saw a video of, I think you have a clip of it.
Yeah. It was very interesting because one of the cool things that they found, which we kind of knew about ahead of time, was, they had this whole L system, this elevated railway system. And even early media about the game showed like maps of the rail system and, how the different colored lines and how they went out, and game released and they didn't have it, but they still have it up in the sky. So some of the people were actually able to jump up there and check it out. Now, the reason why this is cool is not only because, it exists and, you can run around on it, but it actually gives some hope that, with it still being in there, maybe they can kind of No Man's Sky this, of like sometime in the future, they can put this railway system and make it live. Some of the things that are kind of, lending weight to that is the fact that these doors open and that, there's an interior to this, what could be, a railway, you know, transit hub here that you could walk around in and, whether you're fast traveling or whether you're actually traveling on the trains, whichever, but they have an open door, or at least a door that opens. That's pretty cool. Granted, there's, no textures or anything like that, but that's fine. I mean, it wasn't meant to be actually used yet, but they have the placeholder there. So they could put these details in and they could build this out. That'd be really cool to see that, like, 6 months or a year.
Right. Another thing that came across from the subreddit too is it seems that a Reddit user had found that one of the guitar players, there's a random guy, some part of this either story, I'm not really sure. I haven't seen this character myself yet, but he's playing a guitar sitting on a couch. And when you actually pay attention to him playing the guitar, which you can't hear right now, we're playing the video, but you can't hear it. But being a guitar player, watching him play this guitar, it's so real. Like, he's actually moving his fingers around to get the right, on the right frets, to get the right chords, even to get some of the, like the harmonics that they're getting, like the way he plays to get certain sounds, by deadening certain strings to make like a higher pitched noise. Like, all of that stuff is being done in the video, and it's for real. Like, that would be the exact way to do that, to get that sound. So not only did they spend like the detailed time to actually, put like a guy playing guitar and maybe having a song that goes with it, but like his hand movements are actually like mimicking an actual person playing guitar. And I have to say, it's probably the most realistic guitar playing I've seen in a video game thus far. So that was just really neat. It was just a really cool thing. Like I said, check it out, Low Sodium Cyberpunk. If you're into the game and really just want to see and hear positive things about the game, it's a good subreddit to check out. And I'm nowhere affiliated with that subreddit, but it's just I do enjoy it because, like I said, there's a lot of the Cyberpunk 2077 thread subreddit is just completely just bombed with just a bunch of just junk. And to actually see what the game looks like on good stuff is actually neat to see. And then I have a little bit extra that I wanted to throw in here as well. So also looking through, I can't remember exactly the subreddit I was on, but some comment led me to another comment, to another little wormhole, to another rabbit hole. And I got to this one point and someone said, there's a Cyberpunk Netflix show coming. And I said, what? And I followed the link and I went to imdb.com. And sure enough, there is a Cyberpunk Netflix series coming, and it's planned for, I think it's 2022.
2023.
2022.
2023.
Oh, I see series from 2022 on IMDb. I don't know what it says.
Okay.
Either way, it's based on CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk 2077. This is straight from IMDb. The story follows a street kid in a tech-filled and in a body modification obsessed city. To survive and with nothing to lose, he chooses to become a mercenary outlaw, also known as an edge runner. So this is it's supposed to be an animation series, animated action sci-fi series in the vein of CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk 2077. So we'll have another year or so before we get to watch that. But it was actually really neat. Like I said, I haven't seen any articles on this posted anywhere yet from any of the news sites or any gaming sites. So I thought this is really cool. Kind of something we found. It was just kind of like a little Easter egg out there that, and this, it's in stone. It's IMDb. They've already put the placeholder here for this. So really neat. So that's something we'll see to come. All right. Well, we're going to take a short break. Make sure to check out a word from our sponsors.